Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Modern Guide to a Positive Full Life with your host, me, your go to friend. Today, we're going to be talking about the meat of this whole guide, and that's the 3 step process that it takes to complete it, the whole process. And the first step is mainly about your mind, and it's about being positive now. Um, now, this sounds very easy, but it's actually a lot of work, but it's one of the most important steps to start off with because if you don't get this, then it's like you're not leaving with fuel. You're not leaving with an engine. You're not leaving with a backpack. It's what you need to get by. It's learning how to ride your bike to go on a cross country trip. It's learning, you know. How to canoe if you're going to go on a canoeing trip. It's the basis. It's everything, and it makes the biggest difference. And it's something that again is simple, but it's a lot of work. Um, Now, basically, what it is, it's 3 parts as well, and that's belief. Believe what you believe in is critical. It's the most important part of this, and then it's acknowledging those beliefs and the things you are, and then the last one is just loving yourself. Now, let me start off by saying belief is not just what you believe now or what you're choosing to believe, but it's everything. And many times, your beliefs aren't exactly what you think they are. It's your beliefs are a reflection of what you do. So if throughout your life you do XYZ and it goes counter to the belief that you believe you have, then it's not really a true belief. It's not a, I guess in some ways you might define it as a value, as a principle, but what you believe is very important, and one of the most important aspects here is believing you are good enough, believing you are enough. And this is going to be very difficult because it's going to go against culture, against social construct, against everything we've been taught from the beginning. Um, Media tells you you're not good enough. You have to buy this thing, and yes, when you buy something, you feel better, but then you feel the same. Um, it's about, I grew up in a culture which, you had certain roles that, you had guilt and you had all these negative aspects. But I don't need those. I don't need those to be me. I don't need those to be complete or to reach this, I don't know, this completeness where I'm going to be what I'm supposed to be. Right now, what I'm doing, where you're at, it's where you're supposed to be. I mean, there wasn't some magical thing you could have done differently. Maybe you could have changed certain things if you had better perspective. But when you chose every decision throughout your life, you chose it with the best intention. You would never want to purposely hurt yourself. And so maybe it was a wrong choice. Maybe you've done bad things, but you have to believe that you did them for the right reasons at that time. Um, and the next part of this is believing that you can change, believing that you can go through this and feel full and find, you know, the purpose of your life, right? And so there's a lot of things you can do to get there. And again, this is a guide, so I'm not going to tell you exactly how to figure out what you believe and how to change those to believe that you can, to believe that you're good enough, to believe that right now you can be happy, to believe that you have the power to be full or happy, depending on how you want to define it. Um, One of those things you can do is ranking. It's something I'm going to tell you things that work for me. Um, it might not work for you, but try to figure out things that are similar that might help you. And the two I'll go over is ranking. For me, it makes just a lot of sense. And now that I've read a lot more, I realize that other people do it too. But ranking is really helpful, and ranking your principles, your values, what's most important to you in life. I've ranked people. I know it sounds not nice, but it really helped me so that when I come to these decisions in life that are really difficult, I can just say that this is who I rank higher. And there's a reason for that. I've gone through that. I understand why I rank them higher, and it makes sense. It's, I'm not using the emotion in that moment to make the decision. I'm basing it off, when I actually sat down and I thought through it. And so I would tell you to sit down and rank things, and figure out what you believe and what's important to you. Um, and But the most important part is just understand that you are good enough now, that you can do this now. If you can't get there, then keep working through it and watch other videos and other guides and try to get to that mindset. Because if you can't get there, then you're not going to really be able to go any farther. The other stuff's going to just seem impossible. The next step here is, again, acknowledging. It's acknowledging these are your beliefs. There's nothing wrong with them. If you rank one person over another, that's who you are. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not something you should be guilty of or shameful of or anything of the sort. It's who you are. If you have done mistakes in the past, it's who you are. Accept them. Don't have them as a ball and chain you're dragging around, but acknowledge them, accept them, and then let them go. That's who you are. They've shaped you. I mean, I think some of the greatest things I'm good at in this life have been because of the negative things that have happened to me, the struggle, the pain, and that from that have come good things. So if I didn't make those bad decisions, I wouldn't have been able to attain those things, you know. But knowing who you are is really important, and so ranking your values and people are going to help you to, you know, understand what you believe, but then be able to accept that's who you are. There's nothing wrong with it. That's just who you are. It's like saying you're mad at the sky being blue. It's blue. I mean, like, yeah, it could be green or something other, but like, what is the point of complaining about it or trying to change it? It just is. You are what you are. And I think a lot of people try to change this and that about themselves, but they struggle or they keep coming back to it because they're not doing it in a sense that makes sense to them, you know? So understand who you are and what you believe in, and completely accept it, completely acknowledge it. You are good enough now, and despite the bad, no matter how bad it is, it's who you are, and accept it. And then the last part, which is the most difficult, is not just believing you should be loved, that you are worthy of love, but loving yourself, because you don't need anybody else to do that. And it's the greatest and one of the most hardest things you probably will do, and that's loving yourself despite the problems, despite the things that you have trouble sleeping at night or you know, wish you could have done over. You did them to the best of your ability at the time. So let it go and love yourself. You're good enough right now. And I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but yeah, this is the first step. And if you don't do this, there's a lot of little things, but you won't get past this first part if you don't believe you are good enough. If you don't know who you are and what you believe and establish them right now and accept them and love yourself for it, you're going to struggle. So again, you can do it now. Let go of the past. Let go of the construct that say you're not good enough, the guilt, the shame, whatever it might be. You are good enough now. Love yourself. It's that simple, but it's so hard. I mean, it is so hard to look at all the bad things you've done and say, you know, you're good enough. But what I always tell people is we're trying to focus on positive. So just as much as you focus on the negative, focus on the positive things you've done in life. A lot of times we just say, oh, we're not good enough because of this or that. But then think of the good things you've done. Think of all the people you've touched, all the good things you've had through relationships and bonds and good actions and good things you've done. And focus on that, because you're not, a person is not all the bad things they've done only. A person isn't all the good things they've done only. A person is a cumulative, you know, thing of everything they've done. And so you have to look at everything. And I don't judge a person by one bad thing they've done. I judge a person by everything they've done towards me. And usually, people are good, and you are good, and you're good enough right now. And if you want to be better, that's great. You have the power to do that. And so I'm going to try to give you the guide to get there. Now, again, this first step seems relatively easy, but I make it as the first step of the 3 because it is one of the hardest things you're going to have to do. Don't take it lightly. Think about it a lot and try to work out exercises where you can work out what you believe and that whatever it is, that's okay. Whatever you've done, that's okay. And that right now, you're going to change that. You're going to make it to what you want it to be, you know? And that means it's going to be better. Not better to someone else's standards or my standard, to your standard. You're going to be better to you. And that's it. That's the video. If you liked it, please follow us on social media at Cultum Vita. It means cultivating life. And if you think this could help someone out, please forward it along. And thanks for watching.